Hello and welcome to GW Prime Live, where we bring to you series of thought leadership discussions, real-world case studies, and the GW Bulletin with news on geospatial, space, and other technologies from all over the world. I'm Ananya Narayan, Vice President of Geospatial World's Consulting Division, and it is a great honor for me to host today's discussion on revolutionizing construction industry with advanced robotics, automation, and AI innovations. My guest for today is not only one of the leaders in the construction technology domain, but also a great friend who has taught me the value and benefits of construction technologies over the years. I'm pleased to introduce Amar Rafat, Chief Innovation Officer, Windover Construction. Welcome, Amar.
Hi, Ananya. How are you? So excited to be with you today. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to a great discussion.
So glad to have you with us, Amar, today, and I'm looking forward to the discussion. But before we begin our conversation, I'm pleased to share the extensive experience that you have within the AEC domain. Amar has more than 20 years of experience across architectural, construction, and engineering, and has been recognized for his pioneering work in construction technologies. He received the Global 2019 Innovator of the Year award at the Autodesk AEC Excellence Awards and has recently been recognized as one of Autodesk's Global Champions for 2024. Congratulations. As Chief Innovation Officer at Windover Construction, Amar leads the virtual design and construction team and innovations for design, engineering, and automation, and works with some of the most interesting technologies in robotics, reality capture, AI, BIM, digital twin, to name a few. Today, as we delve into critical topics surrounding advanced robotics, automation, and AI, particularly in their transformative roles within the construction industry, we are eager to hear from Amar on how these technologies are setting new standards for productivity, efficiency, and compliance. So, Amar, to begin with, as you know, geospatial is at the heart of what we do and what we advocate for. I'm interested to know the role of geospatial data and, in particular, reality capture solutions such as LiDAR, drones, photogrammetry, robotics in Windover's digital transformation journey.
So, Ananya, you bringing up great points. We're looking forward to discuss all of these different technologies and solutions that we can always utilize throughout the life cycle of the project. At Windover, we've been one of the very early implementers of LiDAR and laser scanning on job sites. Not only early on when we capture data for new or existing sites, but also throughout the project life cycle for quality control, QE/QC, to ensure certainty of outcome. This geospatial data has been instrumental in our processes to ensure we don't have any surprises on site, and that's how we use it. For example, it's a standard for us that when we build anything on site, whether it's steel in progress or underground plumbing, that we capture it with geospatial data, with laser scans, with drone LiDAR, which is more than an eye in the sky, more than taking pictures. It's all very accurate data. And then we process this data for quality control overlays to ensure that what we're building on site is exactly what's designed and that all the prefab elements will fit perfectly. So geospatial data, including digital twins, IoT sensors, all these different applications are really crucial to help us build it better.
Thank you, Amar. Can you share with us what are the significant advancements that you have seen over a period of time, specifically when we are talking about robotics and artificial intelligence, and how they are creating significant amount of benefits for the construction industry workflow?
So over the years, we've been utilizing applications, existing applications such as generative design, for example, to automate processes and make sure that what we are building in the most efficient ways. We've been using things like Autodesk Dynamo for 7 years now. We're using different tools, but really in the last year and a half, we've been, for example, tasked by UAE municipality, UAE government, to facilitate and help streamline the efficiencies for code compliance check within them. And what we did is that we leveraged existing technologies such as generative design, generative AI, and we created the AI-enabled platform that could automate processes from the submission of 2D or 3D drawings, turn it to 3D models, and the check for code compliance issues in geometrically represented data. This saves hours, and if a process that takes days can take hours. So that was Wendover recent experience with AI-enabled generative design. Another processes that we are leveraging recently is building a smart canvas. Over the last 15 years, we've been fortunate to uh, to build one of the most beautiful campuses on New England, Endicott College, and we've been supporting the client vision for a smart campus planning. So what we did is that we created digital twin, and when I mean digital twin, as you and me and Anya agree on that, is that digital twin is beyond the 3D model. It has
Yes.
all the data that you need to streamline operations within the building. So what we did is that we created a digital twin for the campus and for the different buildings that Wendover built on site. And then we now adding IoT sensors to have hot data, real-time monitoring of MEP equipment performance, occupation performance, humidity in real time to our digital twin platform, which is Autodesk Tandem platform for digital twins. So that's our recent experiences in the last year or so with geospatial data and automation and AI.
Thank you, Amar. I think one of the experiences that I had when I was visiting Amar in Boston, where he's based out of, was that he showed me the platform that was developed for the UAE government, wherein AI technology was used in order to ensure compliance. So, Amar, can you expand a little bit more on AI, on the use of AI and generative AI, and how we can ensure that more and more infrastructure companies or construction companies can use this technology?
The most important thing is that the solution we deploy, um, the generative AI or generative design solutions, should be addressing a challenge that the client already have. So we found an opportunity for the challenge that's there that to transform the existing process, process that many of the folks would submit. I'm not talking here about the beautiful towers and the beautiful architectural buildings. I'm talking about residential buildings, commercial buildings, which constitutes more than 60 to 70% of the built environments in UAE. These were submitted in 2D drawings, and the 2D drawings is limited of what you can check for code compliance. So our approach, Wendover approach, was to transform the 2D drawings to 3D model through automation, through guidelines. It's very simple guidelines. Any architectural firm can apply very quickly. And then our system transforms the 2D to 3D automatically with MEP, architectural and structural with LOD 300, which is exactly what you need for code compliance check. And the advantage of this too is that you end up with a 3D model that could be utilized for constructability review, for digital twin over time to support the bigger digital twin of the city, smart city development. So for years, folks would focus on the 2D, maybe computer vision. I think Wendover approach to this was more of the BIM AI-enabled generative design to automate processes, so we still end up with a 3D model that's very valuable for many users and to support the client users for many years to come.
Thank you, Amar. Another thing that we have been discussing about a lot has been, of course, one is robotics and the other has been 3D printing. So I believe that there are numerous amount of case studies within Wendover construction where 3D printing has been used in infrastructure workflows. So could you elaborate more on that?
So 3D printing, we've been leveraging 3D printing for a while in the EEC industry, and what our concept, or we believe in stop testing, start building. So what we do is that we applied since 2019 additive manufacturing on our projects with clients. For example, there were a historic preservation project that was a 120-year-old building in North Shore of Boston. Um, that was deteriorating the facade. So what we did is that we utilized geospatial data such as laser scanning data, which is to the 2 millimeter accurate, and then we created highly detailed fusion models of it, and we took that into the making of things, of 3D printing and doing. It's a combination of 3D printing of some of the intricate details that was done by hand 100 years ago. That's really very hard now to do it by hand again, but we were able to create exact replicas of these pieces using the laser scan data with additive manufacturing, with large 3D printers, as well as 5-axis routers, a combination of these to create a facade that looked exactly how it looked 120 years ago. So additive manufacturing, and we did that with collaboration with Autodesk, Autodesk Tech Center, where we explored the future. We've been honored that you visited us. I think that's 6 months ago. It was cool. Yeah. So it's really about taking BIM data and leverage it to make things. For years, we've been using BIM data, laser scans, drone surveys for quality control to make sure we build better and we preserve the design intent and for coordination and constructability reviews. But what Wendover actually is focusing on as well, parallel to that, is really making and building from this BIM data to streamline efficiencies, save on materials, and make sure we're building in the most sustainable ways as well as quality as well.
Thank you, Amar. I do remember that was a really great conversation that we had at the Tech Center. One of the interesting things that we also keep discussing is BIM and digital twin. So I'm sure our audience would be very interested to know, how do you differentiate BIM as a technology and digital twin as a technology?
Absolutely, bringing up a great point, Ananya, because as we just said earlier, that digital twins is beyond the BIM. For years, digital twin has been used like a buzzword a little bit, but in the recent couple of years for us at Wendover, we've been leveraging through collaboration and partnership with Autodesk for using Autodesk Tandem. What we did is that we took the fully coordinated BIM data, which 100%, almost 100% of our projects are fully coordinated in BIM. So you end up with all the mechanical trade models, all the architectural, structural fully coordinated. And then usually, historically, we used to hand over this model to the client and they don't get to use it because they don't necessarily need to be BIM experts to use it. But finally, we taking that to the digital twin platform to enable and empower the facility manager to use this data. What it is, it's within the same platforms, you can navigate through it. And what we do is that we link the O and the M manual information, the catalogs for all the equipment. So with a click of a mouse, they can have all this handy information within their iPad or their computers at their fingertips, access to this data to empower them uh, why is this to streamline operations in the future. And why is this important from the other existing system is that it is geometrically represented. You have a 3D model of the whole facility, as we're doing at Phillips Exeter Academy or Endicott College. What we did is that we took the full model with all its details and added this non-geometrical data, which is all the catalogs, all the O and the manual information, which we use to deliver as really large books um, to empower them. And that's what I call cold data. Cold data is what's in there. It's going to change from time to time unless if they change the air handling unit, they can replace it and update this data. It's a living document to update for in the future. But also what I call the hot data, which we're doing at Endicott College now, is for the campus and select buildings there, is that we adding IoT sensors, which can give real-time monitoring of the information. And that's empower, and it's a one step to support the sustainability initiatives, because you can't really fix or control something if you can see it. And the IoT sensors help us see how the building perform, as well as inform future building design on campus with historical data that, yeah, when you build your next dorm or your next facility of the same type, students will occupy these areas more these others. You have all this historical data to support the architect decision in the future to design the most sustainable building.
Thank you, Omar. So, would it be right to say, because we've heard a lot of technologies that have come up. We've talked about IoTs, we have talked about AI, we have talked about BIM, digital twin. So, are we talking about looking at the integration of all of these technologies and the value proposition that it offers to the entire construction workflow?
Absolutely. For example, our work with the municipality and the UAE, with our great client there, is and our at Endicott College, for example, as well here in New England, is to each of these technologies are powerful by themselves. You have BIM data, you have IoT sensors, you have digital twin, you have the AI that turn you 2D to 3D drawings, and then you check for code compliance. Uh, all these, when you combine them together, they are much more powerful. For example, uh, in our platform, in the automated plan review system, we're using BIM and AI. You turn a 2D to 3D drawing to check for code compliance. And after you check code compliance, you end up with a 3D model from that process that could empower and it's compatible with other like S3 platform that you can take this data and embed it into the bigger city overall digital twin data. And instead of blocks or not very detailed models, now you have a detailed model accumulated over the time and over the years with MEP systems that you can add IoT sensors and support the urban environment with it to track useful data. So I see technology is an accumulated process. Ananya, when we started 20 years ago with BAM or 18 years ago, we started with BAM and then we did VR and then mixed reality and then now generative AI and generative design. All these technologies evolve, but it's all built on a BIM-based tech-first solution. And
Mhm.
and the more we can leverage all these different technologies in harmony um, to tackle challenges, specific challenges in the industry, the more we will become more successful in delivering the most efficient ways our urban environment and the built environment.
Thank you, Amar. This brings me to changing the gear of the conversation a little bit more. One of the things that we have been talking about is robotics and AI. So, could you use some real world examples and tell us what are the challenges that robotics and AI solve together?
So that's a great topic, Ananya. Robotics, for example, I think few years ago we collaborated with a software company and a robotic company and the Autodesk Technology Centers to develop a robot that was called Oliver that do autonomous laser scans on site and the layout of utilities. It takes the BIM data, Revit file, and the layout utilities as well as autonomous laser scan. And the reason we did that a few years ago, very early, I think that was back in 2019 as well, or 2020. The reason for that is to really enhance safety and efficiencies on the job site. Robotics also been utilized a lot for us. For example, we use equipment and the robotics to automate cold start data, cold start information. We take the BIM data and we were able to create almost 1,000 trusts in only 15 hours using equipment like the Howick machine, which is based in New Zealand. Take the BIM data and then you can automate processes to create mass production with a high quality, with almost zero waste of material. So robotics for us is about automation of processes to save time as well as provide substantial cost savings or safety. For example, in 2022, we had, or 2021, we had a building, a historic building, that the ceilings are not equal. And what we did is that we were the first one to use a new technology developed in New Zealand by Howard to do telescopic study. It's a very simple but powerful technology that you take. The machine can create telescopic studs But the power of this is that when it travels small as small Lego pieces, and when it goes to its intended location, it can expand and adapt with any ceiling heights or any windows or all the information for really old existing buildings. That's what I call adaptive industrialized construction. So to your point, robotics, Wendover have been utilizing robotics to automate processes, tedious processes such as laser scanning and reality capture, layout of utilities, as well as support our industrialized construction work, which is Wendover, one of the go-to for modular construction in the US, through our expertise in-house with modular construction. We wanted to streamline these processes using robotics and automation.
Thank you, Amar. I think we know that Windover Construction is one of the most mature companies who has been using uh, the advanced technology ecosystem and including robotics and AI. But if you have to look at it from an industry point of view, at a global level, or even at a United States level, how do you see the maturity of robotics and AI within your ecosystem?
So the way we envision robotics and AI, we look at it to tackle a specific challenge. Our solutions that we've been developing and been working on are really an answer to a challenge on a job site or to a client that we work with. We believe that we listen to the challenge, learn more about it, and respond what with what we learned over the years with solutions and applications. I don't like to look at technology as a tool necessarily.
Mhm.
I look at it more of an application of application to solve a problem. So AI so far has been very useful for like ChatGPT. I help support folks to work faster and more efficient, but also the way we look at AI and generative AI is really to automate processes. Uh, and the reason why we actually started working on that project a year and a half ago, and that's very early before even the very high movement now about AI, because we had a challenge. We found there's a challenge that can really encourage us to solve the problem using BIM information. So to help our industry move forward and really leverage generative AI and robotics, we always need the BIM expertise, the builder expertise. One of the things that really helping us to develop and tackle all these challenges is our in-house building expertise. We know how the basics, how building pieces has to be put together. There is a gap between software development and AI world and the builder expertise. And the more we can fill this gap and bridge this gap, and have industry folks like great builders, superintendents, project managers who build beautiful buildings for years, work closely in the same team with robotics and AI folks, that's when things really evolve and you have solutions working for the industry. And that's what we've been doing over the years with Autodesk Technology Centers, for example, and Autodesk Research, because there we collaborate with a lot of folks, robotics developers, software developers, us as a innovative builders. That's when you combine all these different elements. We can't work in a vacuum anymore. You can't have the AI developer working by themselves. They have to really have a collaboration with all the different teams, and that's when solutions shine and really provide actual tackle to challenges.
Amar, one of the things that I really like about you every time I'm interacting with you is the passion that you show for construction technologies and the value proposition it offers across the AEC value chain. I want to know, in your new role or the new award that you have been bestowed with, the Global Champion of Construction by Autodesk this year, what is what is the thing that you think should be addressed or needs to be addressed within the ecosystem, and what role are you going to play?
So I think the biggest challenge for our industry, I expect our industry to evolve even more, to implement more these technologies to solve the solutions. But the biggest challenge we have in our industry right now is just finding talent. There's a lot of folks who doesn't necessarily want to join the construction industry and would like to join other industries. And I think for Windover here, what we do is that we do a lot of presentations at high schools, at vocational schools to really encourage folks to join our industry and let them that construction is more than a hammer and more than the traditional uh, idea about it. It's really now much more innovative. We use VR, gaming engines to create animations. We use robotics automation, generative AI. The more we can communicate that to the future leaders in our industry, the more folks will join us because we really need the talent to empower this. I believe that technology, any industry, and specifically construction, has two pillars: the people pillar as well as the technology application of the great things. And you have to go parallel. And the people are really the ones empowering technology and building. We are much smarter than the AI and the technology. So we're really looking for talent, and it's the biggest challenge to find folks who are willing to constantly learn new things. Like in VDC at Wendover, we learn something new every 6 months. We are doing now things that I didn't think we would ever do last year with generative AI and with robotics. So the more, so really, the most important thing is that we try to attract uh, more talent to our industry, and that's how we're going to empower and have a continuous. This industry has to continue. We have to build beautiful, humane buildings that bring people together, provide folks with housing that is high quality and affordable for everyone to live with good dignity. Decent housing for folks, which is a very important thing in our industry and everywhere. It's a global issue to provide affordable housing that has a good quality, a balance between affordability and good quality. And we can only do that with construction and with talent.
Um, I wish I could continue this conversation for more time. But before we end this conversation, Amar, I would like to know three key points that you would like to highlight, and probably in three words, on what is necessary for enabling digital transformation in the construction industry. Just give me three words.
Just to keep learning new things. The constant learning really empower innovation. Being always open-minded to new ideas is key. We and stop testing, start building.
Thank you, Amar. I think that was a great way to end this session. I wish we had more time. We discussed the role of not just one, but plethora of technologies today in the construction industry. We also discussed the need for constant learning, for talent, for ensuring that the value proposition of these technologies are well communicated. Amar threw some great case study examples on how these technologies have benefited the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. And we look forward to conversing more with Amar going forward and bringing to you his insights from the industry, maybe more sooner than we expect. So, Amar, thank you very much. It was a pleasure hosting you today at GW Prime Live. And thank you for giving us time.
Thank you so much, Anani. I hope to see you soon in Boston.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amar.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of GW Case Study Chronicles on GW Prime Live. I'm Priya Bhatkar, your host for today's episode. In this special segment powered by the Geospatial Resource Platform, we delve into real life projects that exemplify the transformative impact of geospatial, BIM for AEC, and other emerging technologies across diverse economic sectors. These case studies are meticulously curated by GW Consulting and are readily accessible on the Geospatial Resource Platform, providing invaluable insights into groundbreaking innovations driving sustainable development worldwide. Today's episode spotlights enhancing urban sustainability with high resolution aerial mapping. In this episode, we will look at how Blue Sky's high resolution aerial photography helps a new artificial intelligence platform developed by the technology startup Gentian. This new platform has created an advanced workflow using machine learning algorithms to automatically identify and record the number of green roofs. The platform will also map green infrastructure to identify areas where biodiversity can be increased in the UK cities to combat climate change and meet local and global net zero goals. Gentian, a technology startup, is utilizing high resolution aerial photography from Blue Sky International Limited to develop an artificial intelligence platform. This platform automatically identifies and records green roofs and green infrastructure in UK cities. The aim is to combat climate change, enhance biodiversity, and achieve local and global net zero targets. Through machine learning algorithms, Gentian can distinguish between different types of green roofs and assess their potential for retrofit projects or inclusion in new developments. Completed pilot projects have been carried out in London and for the Greater Manchester Combined Authority. Accurately identifying and mapping green roofs from aerial imagery amidst the complexities of urban landscapes presented a significant challenge. Distinguishing between different types of green infrastructure and assessing their potential for retrofitting or for inclusion in new developments was a notable challenge. Additionally, ensuring the scalability and applicability of the geospatial technology solution across various urban environments and regions poses a challenge. Gentian utilized high resolution aerial photography from Blue Sky International Limited to capture detailed imagery of rooftops and green spaces. The project also sees the implementation of artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms developed by Gentian to automatically analyze the aerial imagery, identifying and categorizing green roofs and green infrastructure elements. Gentian used the Blue Sky 12.5 multispectral imagery, which included the familiar RGB, that is the red, green, and blue bands, as well as the near infrared band to assess the health and characteristics of vegetation on rooftops. The project conferred lasting benefits through accurate mapping and assessment of green infrastructure that enabled informed decision making for urban sustainability and resilience. The initiative optimized existing urban spaces by identifying retrofit opportunities for green roofs and other infrastructure elements. It also contributed to climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts by enhancing biodiversity, reducing urban heat island effects, and improving air quality. To conclude, the initiative intensively supported local authorities and policymakers in meeting net zero targets and fulfilling sustainable development goals related to sustainable cities and communities, climate action, as well as life on land. The project has made a significant contribution to the understanding and promotion of green roofs as a sustainable urban solution. Through innovative use of technology and comprehensive data analysis, the project has provided valuable tools and insights that will aid in the development of greener and healthier cities. For more detailed information on this project, please visit the Geospatial Resource Platform at the Geospatial World website. Thank you for joining us today. We will be back with yet another interesting case study in the next episode.
Hello and welcome to the GW Bulletin, the daily dose of geospatial news on GW Prime Live. I'm Jeffy Jacob, and here are the latest happenings. Google parent Alphabet is again investing in its self-driving car unit Waymo with $5 billion. This new round of funding will enable Waymo to continue to build the world's leading autonomous driving company. Alphabet's outgoing finance chief Ruth Porat said this Tuesday on the company's second quarter earnings call, adding Waymo as an important example of Alphabet's long-standing investment. Orbital Insight, a geospatial data analytics firm, has secured a $2 million contract from the US National Geospatial Intelligence Agency for commercial geospatial data services, the agency announced July 23rd. The contract, awarded under NGA's new Commercial Solutions Opening Program, marks the first deal of its kind, focused on tracking illicit maritime activity in the Indo-Pacific region. The program was established to address growing military needs for rapid commercial analytics and unclassified intelligence products supporting maritime domain awareness. Precisely, the global leader in data integrity announced the expanded capabilities for its wildfire risk product. With access to additional wildfire risk extreme modeling and data, customers can now accurately assess critical risk factors, including environmental conditions for rapidly spreading urban fires across the United States. Wildlife risk provides a highly comprehensive and contextual view of wildfire severity and frequency in densely populated areas, enabling customers to make more confident decisions for planning and prevention. The co-founder and CEO at TerraDepth, on a recent episode of TechCrunch's Found podcast Wolful, said that his startup is working to both map more of the ocean floor while also building a platform to make the data more accessible and easy to use. He said that while this is a large problem to solve, it's a worthy one to tackle. Harvey, a startup building what it describes as an AI-powered co-pilot for lawyers, has raised $100 million in a Series C round led by GV, Google's corporate venture arm. In a post on Harvey's official blog, co-founders Winston Weinberg and Gabriela Pereira said the bulk of the new capital will be put toward collecting and curating data to build and train domain-specific AI models while growing Harvey's headcount and expanding its paid services to new geographies. vHive, which is a global leader in digital twin software for enterprise asset digitization, has announced the release of its latest product design for autonomous digitization and AI analysis of solar farms. vHive's unique end-to-end solar digitization solution offers a comprehensive view of power anomalies, their root causes, and their impact on power loss. These insights enable solar power producers and O&M service teams to prioritize and expedite repairs, ensuring peak production performance. The US defense contractor Raytheon on July 23rd announced a strategic partnership with Italian aerospace firm Avio to develop solid rocket motors for military applications and help address shortages in the US defense industrial base. The company said the agreement aims to enhance the resilience and responsiveness of solid rocket motor production amid surging demand driven by global conflicts, notably the war in Ukraine. This partnership will leverage Avio's existing manufacturing and engineering capabilities in Italy. And with that, we come to the end of this live bulletin. See you tomorrow with more news from the geospatial ecosystem around the world.